Live, SpurrLIVE Leadership Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Wendell Lawrence, and we're about to jump straight into episode 11 of SpurrLIVE Leadership Conversation. SpurrLIVE Leadership Conversation is brought by SpurROpen.com. It's a live event of SpurROpen.com, and of course, you know, SpurROpen.com is an online platform that helps persons collect funds online. We make payments easy, so we are into helping entrepreneurs, business owners, event organizers, churches, individuals collect funds online. That's what we do, whether you're selling tickets, clothes, merchandise, anything you're selling. That's what SpurrOpen does. Week after week, we are here at 8 p.m. right now. And we have a chat with an influential leader about how they are pivoting, how they are adjusting, how they are using innovation to continue to minister and to continue to be effective as leaders through a pandemic. Today is no different. We're going to be having an amazing person, as you have been seeing from the ads. We're going to be having Reverend Carla Dunbar. I'm looking forward to an amazing chat with her. And so as we're going, I want you guys to share this broadcast with a friend. Let somebody know what's happening. Let somebody know. Join this chat, join this conversation, and when you come in, just say where you're coming from and say how impactful this is for you. All right, so let's jump straight into the conversation. With me this week is Reverend Dr. Carla Dunbar, and many of you know her because of her strong advocacy for marriages and relationships. She's big on that, and she has had several different pieces of content that speaks to that, several movements, events that caters to that kind of subject matter. So I want to jump into that tonight to see how has her message changed. How are we pivoting now? Our relationship still being affected. So Reverend Dunbar, are you here? Can you join us?
I am here. I am very much here, Wendell.
Awesome.
Thank you
Awesome.
for the invitation to be with you this evening.
Yes, you're looking quite lovely, I must say.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. All right. So how are you doing? How was your day today? What's been happening?
Day has been like many of my other days, very eventful, very impactful. I have been meeting with members of my church, leaders of my church, clients all day today for big appreciation service for one of my leaders who have been serving for over 26 years on Sunday. So we were into the last few minutes before I joined you. I joined my makeup artist and joined you with two of my leaders, just putting the finishing touches on Sunday.
Okay, awesome. So like how you mentioned that appreciation. So that appreciation service is going to be on Sunday?
It's going to be on Sunday.
Without letting it, I don't know if you have any surprises planned for that particular person that you're honoring, but without letting anything out of the box, can you tell me, because we're in COVID time, so what kind of gathering are you going to be having for this?
We are going to be having a gathering. We have been having a gathering. A superintendent friend of mine, he said, Rev, how are you doing this though? How are you keeping people away from? I said, really and truly, I'm not really keeping them away from, we try to follow the protocol, but it promises to be a nice breakfast appreciation.
I see.
That's what I'm deserves it. She has been serving for over 25 years as a director in our locality, and she's about to hand over not the baton, but her tiara. And so we have planned that nicely. So it's going to happen. We're going to be staying within the restrictions. We're using indoors, outdoors, and we are using platforms such as this.
Okay, awesome. So you're having an online component to it?
Sure.
Awesome. All right. So we kind of just touched a little bit there a while ago. But I wanted to chat with you quickly. You are kind of known. A lot of persons refer to you as the sex pastor.
Yes.
Persons refer to you as, the marriage advocate, different things that, persons refer to you as. Can you just share with me a little bit about your background in that area? Why it is that persons see you that way? What are some of your passions? And why is it that, persons would see you as this kind of person?
Well, for my passions, And you perhaps would have known I share 43 years together with my husband and partner.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you so
When
much.
is that anniversary?
Oh, well, actually, next month we actually will celebrate 44 years together. So,
Nice.
so
Nice.
that's great. That's where it
Nice.
started.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it started there. We have been growing on each other and growing together and becoming one together, because it is not a we have become one, but we are becoming, right? And so that happened. And because of my own background of not having a father figure, of being a barrier child, of having an absentia mother, because of the choices that she had to make to take care of us as siblings. And so because of that, I wanted, when I started my own family, that we have a togetherness, that our children grows in a nuclear situation as opposed to what I had. And so just having had that and wanting to have that, as I blossomed into motherhood and as I became a wife, then I decided that this is what I want. And so I started helping persons in the community who started to come to me about their own relationships. And so I was helping them out of my own relationships. And so when I made a decision to be more impactful, I was already in the church. I was serving as a pastor in the church. After being saved for 7 years, I became a pastor.
Right.
And so I decided to start studying. And so I entered Jamaica Theological Seminary. And I entered it not to do pastoral study, actually, but to become a counselor. But then just being on campus and seeing the dynamics of relationship, etc., my curiosity was piqued about why the subject of sex was so taboo. And it was in getting curious about it. And so each paper that my lecturers gave me to write as a term paper became something to round in the subject. So if I got a theology of the Caribbean to write, I would write a theology of sex for the Caribbean. And so my lecturers became intrigued. And I was also looking at relationships and how you hold relationships together in Christendom. And I thought, if we cannot talk about the subject of relationship, how can we do relationship? If we cannot talk about the subject of sex, which is in the Bible, how can we be doing it? And so I decided that there must be another way. And so I started to interview persons on campus, write papers. My lecturers became intrigued. They started to encourage me, to do my final thesis, and it started there. That's where it actually started. My interest in ensuring that Christendom marriages remain as they are, and that as the understanding of them, marriage honoring God is where it came from. To honor God's marriages, then we need to understand what God's concept of marriage is and what He desires for marriage, if it is to honor Him, because you can't honor what you don't know.
Right.
Came from. And then as I learned, I was sharing with somebody this morning, I learned from somebody who actually came and said to me, do you know that you're a pioneer for marriage and family in the Caribbean? I didn't even think about it. And I said, yes, you are the catalyst. We never heard it that much in Jamaica until you came along. And so it was that while I was at seminary, just exiting seminary, that Ian Boyne, the late Ian Boyne, he wanted somebody from the clergy to address the matter. And so he called Jamaica Theological Seminary, and I wasn't even there. And then I received the call. Can you imagine me being in Portland, Buff Bay, where I was pastoring 2 churches, and my phone rang, and it was Ian Boyne on my phone. I called the seminary to get some clergy person to, be on Religious Hard Talk, and they pointed him to me. The lecture registrars, they pointed him to me. The rest became history. I'm passionate about marriage and family. I'm passionate about the institution that honors God. I'm passionate about persons growing up in families that are unbroken, and that irrespective of dynamics and what is happening in family, that we can understand, that we can stay together as a family, that we can support each other, that we can grow together as a family. And then that way, God will be honored.
Yes, that is awesome. That is awesome. And that is evident because your work speaks for itself. You have written papers, you have published books, multiple books on the subject. Some of the books controversial, some of them topical, some of them exciting, some of them, And you also have a devotional for couples.
Yes, actually.
Tell me about that.
All right. Well, so I have a couple of books. The first one was my journey. We spoke to my journey with Mr. Dunbar, actually, and how God has pivoted me in my life. I have had challenges with illnesses that we can actually say that the part where you said in the marriage vows that for better, for worse, we have been through the worst, having died a couple of times. In 2009, I clinically died 4 times, and we stuck together through the sickness and in health. So the vows came alive for us. The in sickness and health, the for better, for worse, the for richer, for poorer, they all came alive throughout our relationship. And yes, I have written a couple of pieces. I have been, writing for the Star. I've been writing for the Gleaner. I've been interviewed a couple of times on those platforms and on almost every radio station and television station in Jamaica and also internationally. I have written a couple of pieces. My couples devotional was just last year when the Lord said to me, to write the devotional. I wanted to write a 365, because a devotional is daily. And then the Lord said, He said, there are no 365. They said they don't use them anyway, because couples go their separate ways most days. And so they don't get to the time to sit for that. But if I could sit for 20 minutes or 15 minutes one day, then that would be quality time. Because God told me I'm not into quantity. That is not I'm into the quality time that you spend. And so I wrote a 52 weeks couples devotional and work. It's not just a devotional, it's a devotional workbook. So it's one in which the couples can relate to the subject matter, and all 52 weeks are about marriage. So it's about some aspect of your marital relationship. And then you write your commitment. There are commitment pages. Actually, this book is now going to be one of my textbooks, because I'm about ready to launch my online Grow Your Marriage. It's called the Gym, Grow Your Marriage. And that is to be launched very, very shortly at the end of this month. We're launching It's not just for married persons, it is for persons who are wanting to prepare. So the first course I'm actually doing is the Marriage Readiness Program. Are you ready? Whether and how do you know that you are ready? What are the things you need to know in preparedness for marriage? So
tell me something.
Yeah.
Sorry, tell me something. So was COVID? So you threw off my question now. I don't want to ask, but let me ask this question. So was COVID? Hi, Alison. Hi, Carrie-Ann. Hi, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Alison is saying hi, Rev, and Carrie-Ann is saying hi. So Reverend Dr. Dunbar is here with us, Alison, and we're talking about pivoting in COVID. What question I wanted to ask you? Well, let me ask you the question I was planning to ask you first, and then I can go around to the question that just popped in. How would you say that comment on marriages and relationships overall being affected in COVID? Like this whole pandemic from May to now, what is your view on how they are being affected?
They are both affected and impacted. So there's two. Right? So there's the negative and positive. There are those persons who were not accustomed to being in the same space with their spouses for long periods of time. And so there are some of those that have been affected by that to some extent, where I had to be helping them how to navigate the new normal, how to be in the same space with each other, and to also learn to give each other space to understand that you're one, but not the same, and how you navigate that process, as well as with the children around during this time when you're not accustomed to having them. So there's there was the negative of that, but persons have learned how to cope. Some persons have learned how to cope. I've not seen anybody who has fallen away, a couple who has fallen away as a result of being in. But then there are others now who have been impacted in a positive way, in that they utilize a time to grow closer. I have been teaching families how to get back to the whole family values, the core values of spending time together, searching the scriptures together, playing games together, having family talks together, having family games together. As a matter of fact, just a week ago, I had our family week for church, and what we had was games night on Zoom, and we were playing scavenger hunt, we were playing trivia, we were doing Bible sword drills on Zoom with different family, and we had family clans. So the Dunbar family had clans who were in Atlanta and in New York and different parts of the world, and were playing scavenger hunt and all of that. So this also taught families how they can become now creative and draw back on the things that they had let go for technology, but now using technology to reconnect again.
Yes. So all right. So you spoke about, boy, loaded man. This you showing me, I hope, a curveball. So you spoke about the I'm not sure what word you use. If it was training or the school that you're going to be starting online for marriages. Grow Your Marriage, Gym.
Yes, and
no, say that again.
It's a Grow Your Marriage Academy.
Academy. Yeah, right. So what I wanted to ask you was COVID an influencer or an accelerator for that concept?
It was an accelerator. Because I was a influencer, I had already planned to start it, but that's accelerated it now in the sense it has become, I see the very necessity of it because of all that I had to be doing. I worked harder in COVID with couples and families than I actually did before because of the different dynamics and what was happening. During COVID, when persons needed coping skills and coping strategies, and I had to with the banking institution to help them with their staff and the different corporate institutions. I had to be helping them to cope and to strategize and to navigate. And so out of that, it was accelerated that I need to do this like now.
Yes. So therefore, so this is exciting. So because you mentioned that you are now working with corporate Jamaica as well.
Well, I have been working with Jamaica for a while. I have spoken in all governmental entities and most corporate industries as a speaker, because my gifting, and I believe a specified ministry, right? Because not many persons speak about what I speak of. Well, persons have started to, but they weren't. And so I've been privileged to go into most corporate industries to speak on international platforms at the highest level of the world, to speak because of my specialized gifting. So yes,
because I remember you led a delegation a couple of years ago to the White House.
Actually,
during President Obama.
Right. Well, I went twice under President Obama. So I led the delegation firstly in 2016. I led the entire Jamaican Caribbean delegation and also the African delegation as well, because His Royal Majesty of Ghana was there and His Imperial Majesty of Nigeria, and I led the entire delegation that's 2016. So I went twice in 2016 because after coming back to Jamaica, I was again invited to the Congressional Black Caucus to actually speak at the Women's Summit, to speak on the economic advancement of women and its impact on the family. So it was all family oriented.
Right.
And after that, under the Trump administration, to lead family function.
Well, I just wanted to take this moment to congratulate you on that, because not many Jamaicans have got that privilege. And as a Jamaican, being able to do that, I think that is significant, and I want to personally congratulate you on that. What I'm curious about is, with that level of engagement that you're doing with corporate and international, you're traveling and there's interaction, there's physical interaction, and then May COVID hit. And now, the need that had driven you on those travels, on those exploits, that need has now increased. But travel restrictions are there and social distancing is there. How were you able to use technology to still meet the need? Were you using Zoom in these institutions? How were you doing it?
Zoom was awesome, can I tell you?
Wow.
I have been and still am using Zoom as a platform to reach persons, because I had to be doing services. I was doing conferences from here. I was doing seminars from here to overseas churches and overseas companies. So yes, I was using Zoom and still am using Zoom. It has just kind of pivoted us into a different way. It has stretched us as I believe as pastors to a certain, because we weren't there yet. But it was a good thing that it happened when it happened, to open up us to a world of possibilities and probabilities, things we never thought would have been. It had brought it to us in a quicker time.
Yes. So let me ask you now. So describe for me, like for example, in a scenario where we're corporate Jamaica, because I'm going to assume that you're not a techie. You're not the kind of person who is very technical and into technology. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my assumption. So I assume that you'll be putting together a team of persons who, for example, even in your preparation to do this live with us, I saw somebody testing out your feed, somebody looking after this, etc. Describe for me, what does your team look like? And for example, when someone from corporate Jamaica calls you or another entity call you, how do you structure and prepare to execute your presentation using the technological platforms?
Well, God has blessed me with a great family, not just my biological family, but the persons who come on board who are in my team, and there are persons who have also trained. So I think you were talking just now with one of the leaders from my church. She, yeah, right, and she is very good as my PR. And then I also spoke with my daughter-in-law, my son's wife, who is a digital marketer. So she tech savvy, right? The Marley, she's very tech savvy. And then you have spoken with Petal, who is my admin assistant, and then there's also my personal assistant. So there's a whole cadre of persons who are utilized in terms of my preparation, getting me ready, preparing my slides if I have to do PowerPoint presentation, doing the test for me so I don't have to come on to do the test myself, setting up my light and all of those things, because I'm home right now, right? And everything is set up at home. So there's a whole list of person, but we have a chain of command, and we just follow the protocols and ensure that we put all the necessary things in place so that at the time I can be doing something up to 5 minutes before I'm on, and everything is taken.
Right. So can you just, because as I shared with you and as I share repeatedly on this program, that the purpose of this is really to encourage other leaders. And what I wanted to just take a minute to kind of encourage someone now on the importance of team and how is it that you are able to do more than you can do by yourself because you have a team.
You know, I've often used this in relation to marriage. I say one hand cannot clap, right? And so it is really teamwork that really makes the dream work. No one person can do anything. God did not expect that. In a story where Moses, in Exodus, where Moses was ministering to the people and he was doing all of this and it was wearying him, it was his father-in-law Jethro who came and told him, appoint persons to do some of the smaller stuff so that you can pay attention to the larger and more important stuff. And again, we saw the apostles over there. Apostles, you know, when the crowd was growing and the congregation was growing, and they said to themselves, listen, we can't do all of this and still do the important stuff, so let us appoint and delegate. And the truth is, leadership is delegation and supervision. You know, we are not meant to do everything. God has provided us with helps and governments, and we must be willing as leaders to identify the persons around us with potential and help them to hone the gifting that they have and to utilize that gifting and do not feel threatened as a person. I was just talking to one of my leaders earlier, a couple of my leaders I met with today, and I was saying to each of them how proud I am to have watched them grow and to see what I've instilled in them and to see them now undertaking some things for me that I no longer have to undertake. You understand? So it's important for teamwork. It's important to look at the persons within your realm of influence, to be able to help them to enable themselves to identify their gifts and talents, to hone those things, and then utilize them for the benefit of your ministry, because whatever they do makes you look better, you know. So not be threatened. You must always think about persons who are to succeed you. You must always have persons who are under you. And as well as I said, all the giftings that different persons come to the ministry are for the help of the ministry, so that you can not just focus on the most important thing, but I am the resource person here in terms of speaking, in terms of coming before the camera. So all the persons who work behind the scene are all important persons to be valued, right? But you should not shun using them to think that you have to do everything for yourself. You are going to suffer from burnout, and many leaders in our time have suffered from serious burnout because they have been trying to do so many of the things themselves. I'm not tech savvy, and the truth is, I'm not even willing to be. Why do I need to be when there are other persons who are
Right.
able to, that's their area of gifting. I
Right.
don't need to do that. I need to know enough that if they're not around, I can do something myself.
Right.
But believe that it is really a plus. It's a benefit for the ministry when you can have a team of persons around you. Well, I was ministering to corporate Jamaica throughout the COVID time. It was just so good to have, the persons accompanying me, because for some of the things I did it from home. Sometimes I went into the bank, used their boardroom to, depending on how the network is going, because there are
Right.
sometimes challenges. And so
Right.
it was
Right.
so have different persons,
Mhm.
do different, and you just sit and be able to meditate and prepare yourself to face the camera, to speak, to deliver, and to impact lives.
Yes, 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 yes. Awesome, awesome. Nadine Blair is here. You know her? You know somebody named Nadine Blair?
That is my sister.
Hi guys, and Blake. True words, lots of your brown. Thanks guys for coming on. Thanks guys for sharing. If what Dr. Carla is saying here is blessing you, just quickly put a shout out. Just quickly put an amen. Just quickly put something to let us know that, she talking sense. She sound good. Doctor, how
Yes.
do you describe for me what your church looks like? Describe to me how church operates for you before. Let's start with before COVID. Like, what do your services look like? Do you have regular Sunday services? Persons come to church. How does that work?
Yes, so certainly we have regular Sunday services. So my typical Sunday morning would begin with Sunday school at 9 o'clock, and then we'd have our what we call divine worship service, which starts at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I usually do Sunday nights because I'm big on family, and one of the things I believe that the church has done to some extent is the separation of families. Tonight is men night and tomorrow is women night, and when do the family come together? And so for most of my times I do Sunday nights. I allow families to be together for Sunday night. If I have some specialized ministry, then we come together for that on a Sunday night, but it's not going to be every Sunday night. So that happens. So after service, you can get to go home, relax, have dinner, be with your spouse and your family, whatever you do. Prepare yourself for Monday morning. And then what I do is we have what we call life study groups. So we don't really meet at church for Bible studies during the week. Mm-hmm. I pastor in St. Andrew. The name of my church is Praise Sanctuary, Church of God of Prophet, and that's in West Rural St. Andrew. That's Cavaliers going Parks Road. So we don't meet for Bible study. I have broken up my church into geographical groups. So we're in the space where you live, and those group meets under the leadership of one of my leaders. And I prepare the studies, and I disseminate it among the 7 groups that we have at different places across north up in the Cavaliers and across, because I have members as far as Portmore, I have members in Spanish Town, I have members in Green.
Hold on a second. So that was a mouthful a while ago. So I need to just break it down. So your church is in Cavalier, and right. You have this Sunday services, Sunday evenings on special occasions. But you don't meet for Bible study physically or at the church. You don't meet at the church. You break up the church into groups according to geographical location. So that process now. So each location has a leader in charge.
Right.
And the study is done online or in their homes. How is the study done?
It is done both ways, right? Okay. And they're all doing the same studies. Then the groups all don't meet on the same night.
Right? I see.
I can go around to the groups if I so desire, because they meet on different nights according to their preference, what this group prefers. And they meet in different places because some of them have been innovated and they have met in Popeyes and they have met in... They go different places. It depends on where they want to be, but they are doing the same study, and then we'll come collectively at one of those Wednesday nights of the month, like the final one, just to review what all have been doing. So that was post-COVID. That was before COVID, right? So that was COVID actually. So post-COVID now we're on Zoom, right? We're on Zoom. We've been on Zoom throughout COVID. So we still. What I did throughout COVID, I go up to the church because I wanted a sense of presence in the community. So whilst we could not meet for more than 10 persons or so at the church, I still went up there. Every Sunday morning I went up there and I did an hour there anybody wants to come in. And sometimes if it's me alone, I'll just go and one person may come in and I do something and I come back down and then we get online for Zoom at 11 o'clock where we're touching people from here and internationally. And
hold on. So when you go up to Cavaliers for church, this is not recorded and zoomed or social media, Facebook. This is just you. Somebody wants prayer, they come to church. Somebody wants to share. Somebody wants to be encouraged. They just come there. That is awesome.
COVID, right? And people are fearful. People are scared. People are going through it. As a counselor, the counselor and me understand this. So a presence of the church, because churches are closed down and we are supposed to have a sense of hope. So I went up every Sunday morning. I was there by 8:30. I was there and just opened the church. And I'm just there. Persons would come in different times. I spent an hour and a half there, and then I would close up. So different persons come in and I give them a word. I give them a word of encouragement. I pray with them, etc. And then I came. Then I went on Zoom.
Okay, so when you come back and you go on Zoom now, so the Zoom, is it that you post the Zoom link? So the fact that you're, because the way how Zoom operates, Zoom is not really open unless you share a link. So you share the link on your social media pages and through the membership WhatsApp groups or something like that?
Right, I share it on my pages and I have a very huge following on my Facebook page. I'm having on 20,000 and I share it there. Share to my WhatsApp link, and so persons are joining us from different parts of the world, for that Zoom. Neighbors, even the community that I moved in, so persons are coming on my clientele, because I share my clientele as well, my clientele listing. So my secretary sends that out every Friday evening. That goes out and a reminder goes out on Saturday, and so persons are ready and on. When I come on to Zoom on a Sunday morning, persons are already on Zoom and wait. Yes.
Wow.
So that is how we have been doing. And since COVID now, and we have been opening up back the church, I still go to church, but we start at 9 now, as opposed to having Sunday school. So I go up and I start service at 9, and we close off by 11. But by the time I close off at 11, somebody else has opened up the Zoom platform, and that is open up, and we have different things, music playing, etc., until I get here as a speaker or one of my other leaders are on a speaker on.
Right, that is awesome. So what do you do for the children? What do you do for the kids? Because there's children church that was happening. How do you cater for them now?
We have Zoom children's service at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. So we had 2 physical ones, and then we had Zoom every Sunday evening. We have the children directors on Zoom for the children.
What's the content like? What happens in the Zoom content for children?
They do a lot of stuff. They do a lot of play stuff. Asking them to do games, Bible games, and different story times and different things. But the children directors are very interactive and very hands-on. So in their Zoom session, we had a feature where our children church director had them create their own cozy corner in their homes. And so they had to create a little space and a little chair somewhere. That is their cozy corner. They did their drawings. They put up their Bible stories. This is where they meet, and the children go in there and they pray at 6 o'clock. And they do that every day, right throughout COVID-19. They did that, and they got an award for the persons who did the great stories and all of that kind of a thing. So our children were very, very interactive and very hands-on with the kids and very creative as well. And so the children now have developed that that wanting to pray, because they were learning to pray throughout COVID-19 in their cozy corner. So in their special in their house, you'd see different videos, and they had to send in their videos with themselves praying in their cozy corner. The youth ministry challenge, where they had to be challenged each day. Each one of them had to do a devotion that was posted in the church group. So we saw the different ones come on, and then I would encourage them. So the children ministry had challenge, or a couples ministry. We did Zoom baby shower. We did Zoom bridal shower.
What?
So, yes, we were doing all sorts of things. We right throughout COVID, we were doing on Zoom. So we still had bridal shower. All the gifts were taken in, and the directors would go to the home of the person who was having the bridal shower, and then she was on Zoom. So while she was presenting our gifts for us to the person, we were able to get on and to give our congratulatory message. So we did that for bridal shower. We did that for our baby showers as well.
Wow. So this COVID thing never really have nothing for you. It never.
Not really. It never impacted us to kind of cause us to be disenfranchised. We were still together and doing all the activities and more.
Yes. Because now you have a wider reach. Now you have a global reach.
Much wider reach for church services. I mean, I had the platform before, but for Sunday morning services, because we never even went live. We never used to go live, you know. But now we're having that very wide reach. And like I said, for Family Week last week, it was awesome in terms of persons joining us from everywhere. And can you imagine us scavenger hunt on Zoom?
Tell me about that. Describe that for me. Like, suppose I want to set up a scavenger hunt. What do I do? Do I need to call your daughter-in-law and say, come set this up for me? Or can she just send me some instructions?
So what we did was we were doing family clan. So my family clan, so I have children here in Jamaica, I have children across the island, and then I have children abroad. So all my family clan would come together and they would be on that night. So the Dunbar family is representing, the Williams are representing, the Pughses, the Nelsons. From wherever you are, you're on Zoom, and we have a list of items that we tell you that you have to go and find, and we send you that list. And it ranged from water boots to coal iron to candles. And you were supposed to find all of those things and present them. So the family that had the most of the things that are on the item list is the family that would have won. So you have to come in and take a picture of all of those items and send them in to the person who was moderating from a different location. And so the family that had the most of those things, we went to take things like a tear-up nightie, a slip, a water boot, a candle iron that used coal in it, just different things, a bow tie. So it's an old stocking, different things you were supposed to look for, a Dutch pot, a pot that is black, and we have sent in the list, and the family members. So some of the things I would find here in my house, some of the things my daughter in Atlanta would find in her house, some of the things my daughter. Not all have to find all the things right there in the one house. It's wherever you are and you find the things. You're a part of that family clan, and that is how it went. And the similar thing applied where Sword Drill was concerned. We're doing, what we call Swords in Hand, that old time game. So we did Swords in Hand, and wherever you were, you participated in Swords in Hand. You're able to use Google to also find it. So it was not just a physical Bible. We allowed you to use technology as your Bible. So we said Psalms 1 verse 1. You can Google that, and the first person to find it would actually raise their hand, and that person would identify. And so we had Family Week. So that was our part of our Family Week activity.
Andrea, tear up 90.
And sleep, is the thing there.
No, this is
those kind of things.
This is amazing. Like, persons here, like the reaction here is like, wow. Everybody who is hearing what she's saying right now, just type "love it" in the chat. Just type "love it." No, this is truly amazing. This is truly amazing because what's happening, or what I see you doing, is that you're saying that it is not necessarily the tools, but is what you use the tools to accomplish. So if because of this pandemic, we are forced to change our tools, we are forced to use different tools, we need to find a way to use these tools to accomplish the same thing.
There's creative ways to use it to do creative ways. I even serve Lord's Supper on Zoom.
Yes.
I just pre-prepared and did the deliveries of the disposables. Kingston, I had different persons in my church who are doing the deliveries to the different homes, and they had the kit for their Lord's Supper, and then I came up and then I just sat here and administered the Lord's Supper to everybody wherever they are in their homes.
Yes. The 4 walls mash up,
It has.
The 4 walls mash up.
It has. So it has its good and its bad. So it was really great. And I think we just thank God, because you see, persons are thinking that it's a bad thing, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It is now the new normal. You can't ever get back to what it was before,
Yes.
You will never get back to that. Right. This is a new way that God has opened up for us, to reach persons. And I mean, we were evangelizing persons, because I had a number of clients who are not Christians, and they were able to come on, hear messages. We had testimony service, you know, for persons sharing. So it was just different things, and it is reaching people wherever they are. So it's not just empowerment, that you have empowerment sessions and that you have webinars and stuff. You have things that are evangelistic in nature, as is able to reach out and touch persons. At the end of this month, I'm the National Family Life Director for the Church of God of Prophecy. And at the end of this month, we're going to be having Family Life Ministries on Zoom. You know, we'll be having, you know, talking about reproductive system and stuff like that, and forgiveness. And we'll have the Alan Andre Casey. We're going to be having Shelley and Weeks.
No, hold on. When you say reproductive system, you're talking about the sex education what I'm having at school?
We're going to be talking about the reproductive system. Shelley and Weeks, you know, she's doing her flow, and so we think it is important that even the men in the family understand their girls and understand that the reproductive changes that their daughters go through, and how to help them, just in case you are there and
but you are going, man.
July 27th on Zoom. Shelley and Weeks is going to be on to talk about that with her Flow blend. And then we're going to have Alan Andre Casey, who's going to be talking about forgiving and loving again, because a lot of things have come out as well. So we need to be doing that. We need to forgive. We need to love again. And then myself and my co-host, which is Bishop Project, we're going to be talking about Intimately Us. And that night is going to be specially for couples. So it's a 3-night.
Wow. I did not expect that the conversation would go here.
Wendell, to our advantage. Yes, we have to use what God has platforms as leaders. We have to be innovative. We have to be creative. And what we can't do, say, for instance, we're older leaders. There are younger persons in your church who I believe are willing, if you give them the opportunity, to utilize this and to be creative, so that your ministry can continue to flourish, and that you can reach people beyond the scope of your four walls, you know, and make an impact in your community, in your space, in your world.
Yes, so true. So come guys. You guys know that's an amen moment. You guys wanna know. Say amen. Say amen. So doctor, tell me the most challenging thing that you've had to deal with as a leader, since the government say 20 people, not just as it relates to the 20 people, but just from that moment, from the whole COVID, like from the COVID became a reality in Jamaica. As a leader, what was the most challenging thing that you had to deal with? And probably not necessarily the most, but tell me of a challenging situation and how you overcame it.
I think it was, all right, so for my church, it was keeping my members away. But because my scope is wider than that, it was the weddings. It was the weddings that people want to attend.
Oh.
Country and chuckle to come. It was those things, the weddings that had to be, you know, either cancelled, rescheduled, or I had to show them the importance of, you know, keeping it small and doing part of it on Zoom so that they can participate even though they're there. I just did one on Saturday, but because the mother of the bride could not come down because she's in the Cayman Island and what the restrictions would not allow, so I had her participate in the program. She was on the program blessing the cake on Zoom.
Wow.
You know, so she was at the wedding, wasn't at the wedding. So it was more like that. Those were challenges for me in terms of the weddings I had that were scheduled to happen, and then COVID came. And some people didn't want to have small gatherings. Some people didn't want to do it without certain family members. And so I had to be, you know, scaling down that. We had to be pushing them back. Some persons were disappointed because, you know, when a woman, a bride, is looking forward to that wedding, you know, and the wedding is all about the bride and all of that. And then that had to be good. So I think those were some challenges for me. You know, I was thankful that no one in my church community was affected by COVID-19. There was also a wedding that I was supposed to attend. My ticket was booked. I was supposed to go up to Philadelphia to one of my members who went up to get married, and I had to say to her, listen, the marriage can still happen, so go ahead and have the marriage. And we just welcomed her back to Jamaica 3 weeks ago. Very much. I think the weddings that I had planned, because God has called me into family ministry, and you know, I have started to use sometime last year I started to do what I call marriage evangelism. Which I help couples to get married. You know, I support the wedding. I provide the stuff. I'll look sponsorship for the rings. I'll get the dress. I'll get the party thing. I'll get the meals together. And so I use it as a means of evangelism to help couples to get married who are living in concubinage, who have been falling away from the church because of this. I saw that as a ministry that I could use that. And so I would call in the couples, I would give them the prerequisite counseling, because they have to go to my premarital counseling program. So through the prerequisite 3 months of counseling, and then I would prepare and host a wonderful wedding for them that would not cost anything. And I mean a nice little intimate wedding with their pictures, their photographs for memories. I would get sponsors for the cake, sponsors for the ring. You know,
wait. I just registered what you're saying. You're saying that you brought other of your partners on board to sponsor the cost of these weddings. So somebody who would want to get married, but the odds are stacked against them, both from a moral, spiritual, and financial perspective. You're able to create a whole program that takes them through step by step and bring them to the point where they can actually have marriage and have photos.
Right, definitely, because you see, a lot of persons fall away from the church, and you know within the scenarios that we have more women in church than men, and so a lot of you will have males who are living with spouses that they are not married, you know, or they fall away from church because of that. And so I saw that as an avenue I could help them. So it's my marriage evangelism program where I help them now to get a marriage, and not just a private thing there's you and the two people come, but you can actually have a marriage, because most people have the concept that a marriage costs a lot of money. And so I'll have to help them to understand that it doesn't have to. So I've been doing picnic weddings, and I've been doing cocktail wedding, so it doesn't have to be this big meal and everything, but you still have your little cake, and you still have your 10 or your 15 persons, and you have a nice little intimate wedding. And God has also blessed me with a space. I recently bought a property, and so I have created a nice space. It's a Temple Farm Gardens in Golden Spring, which I use to help these persons to have a wonderful garden wedding.
Wow. One boy, I can't hold back myself. I have just one encouragement to give you, Pastor. Like, you have to write it's not necessarily a book, but you have to write like a script. In my line of work, they call it you have to codify what you're doing. Yeah, man. No, you have to codify. You have to write it down so that you can multiply yourself infinitely, because this is a gap. You're feeling. Is a gap, you know?
I do believe so, which is another reason for the gym, because I recognize.
Oh, I see.
In me going around to the different churches across the island, there's only one me. Sometimes different churches want me for the same time, and I'm only one person. So I thought I needed to pour into some persons. If I can teach persons, teach family life directors in churches, teach, you know, couples ministry directors. And so the gym is not just for people who are married, but for persons who also want to mentor marriage persons, for persons how to, you know, build your marriage ministry. And also the marriage readiness program is for persons who want to find out if they are ready and proficient for marriage. Because, you know, one of the things that I've often said is that, you know, you have to drive 2 years, especially now, in order to get a driver's license. You have to be prepared. And if you need a degree, you spend 4 years to get a degree. Right. But to get married, you only need to present 2 birth certificates to show that you are not blood linked, and the government allow you. And that's why I believe that our marriages are not lasting as long as our cars and our careers, because preparation is not being given to that. So the gym is one of the tools in which I'm codifying, as you said, It is my books that I have written are going to be the textbook. So I've like for sex, which is one of my book that is going to be teaching that course on maximizing your sexual potential. That's a course that's going to be given in the
Maximizing your sexual potential.
that's for couples, maximizing your sexual potential. And then I have the On Your Mark program, which is my marriage readiness program that is helping you to recognize whether or not you are ready and then to prepare you in readiness for marriage. And then there is my couples devotional workbook, and that one now is going to be the marriage maintenance, because marriage needs maintenance like everything else, and we have to be intentional. So then that is another program. That's another course that is going to be taught in the gym. So persons are coming online, registering, to enrolling for the courses. Some of them are 6 weeks and some of them are 8 weeks.
This is awesome. This is awesome. Like awesome. I'm thoroughly inspired. I'm thoroughly inspired by this. One of the things I wanted to ask you, how do you continue to get financial support for what you're doing? So before, church used to gather and meet and offering basket go around.
Yes.
Now that now happen, but all these other things you need to be able to pay for the different things that you're doing, because the different things that you're doing cost. How do you continue in this COVID time to get that kind of support that you need?
It is good it is good to teach your people, and it is also good to make connections. So I have taught my members that irrespective of what is happening, everybody has something to give. God gives seed to the sower. And so I teach them irrespective. The Macedonian church gave out of their lack. And it is when you give, put God to the test. So I do that. We use platforms such as this in order to receive the gifts. Persons will sow into the ministry. There are a lot of persons in Jamaica, just like how persons will sow into ministries overseas. There are persons in Jamaica, and I thank God for them. So I thank you to all my Carla Dunbar Ministries partners. There are persons in Jamaica who believe in what I do, who have been impacted by what I do. There are marriages that have been healed through what I do, and some of those persons will give back to the ministry, so I can call on them. This is what I'm doing, and they will transfer the funds if I ask them, or however they can do that. There are persons who sow into my ministry on a monthly basis or bi-weekly basis however they get their monies. So they sow into my personal ministry. They'll take envelopes. I have envelopes that persons will take, and they'll take in their contributions to my office, which is my main office, which is located at Eden Gardens Resort, or they will take the banking information and they'll give into the ministry, because they see and they understand what I do in this ministry, which is that my mantra says, I am restoring Jamaica one marriage at a time.
Yes. What is the major, what would you take away as a major learning lesson, like a lesson from this whole COVID global experience? What would you take away as a learning experience?
As a learning experience, I think teamwork is so important, and I would take that away, because it taught me, because whereas I could just sit in my study, prepare my sermon, type it if I have to, and go to church and deliver it, COVID has taught the importance of having supporting partners around you. Yes, because while I would still need to be able to take the time to prepare to either preach or to speak, because I'm a speaker, to either preach or speak, it's important to have the other persons who are doing the other things on the other end, to make sure that when everything comes together, that everything comes together effectively, and that it also comes together seamlessly. So I would take that away from the experience that I've been taught in COVID, as to how to work together, to partner together with different persons, and to allow persons to come in and to impact your ministry with the knowledge and gifting that they have, because you're not the only person with a gift, and it is what the other person has that can enhance your ministry and your gifting.
Pastor Carla Dunbar, it's amazing. This chat has been amazing. We have like 5 minutes left, and I'm going to just quickly, in a second, ask you to encourage a leader or two And some, I'm going to ask you to do 2 pieces of encouragement. I'm going to ask you to encourage another leader, and I'm going to ask you to also encourage a relationship, encourage persons in a relationship. But right before that, I just want to acknowledge some of the persons who have come on: Meladine Dakers, and Sika Gibson. Thank you guys so much for sharing with us here. If you guys have questions, boy, the persons are loving what you're doing. I'm loving what you're doing, Doctor. I am thoroughly inspired. I did not know. I mean, I've talked with you before. I have had an idea of some of the things that you do, but I did not know that I remember the last time we spoke. I knew from that conversation that you're not a techie.
That's all. And it was, I think it was about fresh or that was my breakfast party thing.
Yes.
That epic thing that happened in January, which we're looking forward to happening again first of the year. Yes.
I'm share about that a bit. Just talk about that a bit, because there are a couple of persons here who may not know about it.
Fresh was so epic. I think it was the first one in Christendom for Jamaica. It's a breakfast, an all-inclusive breakfast party. So it's not a prayer breakfast, because I do a prayer breakfast every year as well, a family's prayer breakfast where we just meet. And this would have been my 7th year, but I had canceled this one because of the COVID-19. So I do a prayer breakfast every year to pray, just to meet and pray for families. And that is held every year at the Knutsford Court Hotel. But this was a breakfast party. This is where you come, and it's like you're in a buffet line. It's like you're in a line at one of the all-inclusive hotels on the North Coast. This is where all you can. You join the line and you eat every conceivable item that you know can be on a Jamaican or even a continental breakfast.
Wow.
There, and you just buy your ticket and you come, and we had our DJ, our in-house DJ, of course, who was DJ Rebirth.
Yes.
And persons coming. It was a family affair. Everything I do is for family. And gates were open 4 a.m. in the morning, on the morning of January 1. So
4 a.m.
The persons who were leaving from Genesis were coming up. 5 o'clock, people were streaming in to come and get their hot chocolate with whipped cream, or their porridge or whatever it is that was on the breakfast line. And I had a number of partners on board: Jamaica producers, best dressed, world brands, just whole heap of people, whole heap of sponsors were on that helped me with the necessity, with all of the breakfast items and stuff. They were on, and they had come and they set up booth, and they had a wonderful party. We closed off at 11 o'clock. So persons ate, refilled, danced, refilled, around, and it was awesome. And you yourself said, we had put Spur Open, came on to us. You had come on to us to ask us. They said it looked interesting. It's called Fresh, and it looked interesting, and even and so you came on and said, this is nice, let us promote it. And of course, we gave you the opportunity, and you said you got a lot of traffic. You got a lot of. And this was our first Fresh, and a lot of people came out, and we're just looking forward to the next Fresh, which is coming up. January.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it was for true. And I started to say that I know that for sure, that like what you're doing now, I'm blown away. Like the way how you're engaging persons and engaging the world now, I'm blown away. Charmaine Williams is asking, how do you court, and she has court in capital letters, how do you court the kingdom way? So just share on that for Charmaine Williams.
The first thing to do, Charmaine, is to just know what God's plan is for your life, right? And as I tell somebody today, make character a romantic resolution, right? So that's the kingdom way, is to know what you're looking for in Christ. Paul says, marry whomever you please in the Lord. And so it is knowing the person, becoming friends, understanding each other, understanding your values and your integrities, understanding that there are boundaries that you must never cross, right? And seeking God's will for your life every step of the way. And also, I know people think that chaperoning is old-fashioned, but we call it accountability in this new time. It's also being accountable to somebody, for the relationship that you're having, the person of interest that you see and want to get on board with that person. And so it is important that you have that kind of accountability and just follow the instructions along the way. Know what you're looking for, and then seek the Lord's will in everything. And of course, you can get so much more, Charmaine, in my marriage readiness class to know
Yes,
how to
yes, yes.
look for.
Follow
Like, so
her on social media.
you can enroll for the marriage readiness class on my gym academy, right? For that, because that is a preparedness for you to know, one, if you are ready, and then to know how to look out for that person and to know if that person is ready as well.
So let me ask you, how for the marriage readiness for gym, do you have the platform up now?
Yes,
Is it ready?
The platform is actually, well, it's not fully up, but it's getting there. It should be ready by the end of this month. We are getting ready for our launch at the end of
Okay,
this
great.
month, and it's through Teachables, right?
Okay, so persons would need to send like follow you on Facebook, follow you on social media to hear about the launch.
Carla Dunbar Ministries. Just follow the Carla Dunbar Ministries Facebook page, because there are more than one page, but the Carla Dunbar Ministries page, that's the page that you come on, and there are special prices for persons who enroll early, because I can only do so much,
Right.
do a amount of persons. So we're going to close off after we get a certain amount of persons for the first class, because I'm going to be doing face-to-face classes. I'm going to be doing personal sessions in office as well as face-to-face, and then there's other courses that you can also get, the Teachables online. So you follow the page and you'll be able to get enroll for the Gym Academy Marriage Readiness Program, and then after that we're going to go into the marriage itself program.
Yes. I believe that you're a gift to the kingdom of God.
Thank
I
you
do
so
believe
much.
so. I do believe that. I do believe, from conversations we've had in the past, and just even now hearing all this, pushing it over the edge. Yeah, I do
Yes.
believe that.
SpurrOpen, because SpurrOpen has to know everything that is happening, because this is the way to do an awesome thing, Wendell. So, and SpurrOpen is the way to go. So even for, as you say, it's an easy way to make payments.
Yes.
And because I'm these events and doing all of these platforms, these things that need online payment.
Yes.
So we're looking forward to partnering with SpurrOpen for the Carla Dunbar Ministries events and happenings.
Yes, man. Thank you so much. All right. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to encourage, as I mentioned, two sets of persons, a leader that may be struggling, or a leader that may just want a little ounce of encouragement. And also I want you to, just breathe and then just encourage another couple that may be struggling, especially in this COVID. Just a word of encouragement as the Spirit leads you. Go ahead.
Okay. So for the leader, I just want to say to you, Paul says in Philippians 1:6, he says, he who has begun a good work in you will be able to see it through to its completion. God does not do halfway job. The ministry that you are carrying, the ministry that you are leading, it is God's ministry, and he sustains whatever he starts. You understand? And so you just need to rely on him and just balance yourself. Balance is important. For somebody as busy as I am, I still have to learn balance. I take a day to recalibrate myself, to reset myself, to revitalize myself. And then I trust in God to carry the ministry. I don't need to carry the ministry. God carries his ministry. You have to learn to just leave it in his hands, and he will help you to carry it through. When you get frustrated, because things will frustrate us, right? Things will come at us that will seek to want to derail us. But you just keep your focus and understand that the ministry belongs to God. God says, upon this rock, upon the revelation knowledge you have that it is God's church, he builds his church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. So just know that your backing is there, because they that are with us are more than they that are with the enemy. God has you covered. Just need to focus on him and allow the ministry to be carried by God through you, because you are only a channel and an instrument. You are not the ministry.
Awesome.
And Go then ahead. For a couple, I want you to understand, I said it earlier, I said one hand cannot clap. Sometimes we enter into relationships, and sometimes the foundation is not as solid as it ought to be, and it starts to rock the boat, because I understand foundation to be very, very important to a marriage and to a relationship. But I also want to say to you that you must have an other-centeredness in your relationship, because when you get into a relationship and you're focusing on self and what you're not getting out of the relationship, then you will tend to be straying away from what is important in the relationship. When you are in a relationship, focus on the other. Make it an other-centeredness of a relationship. And I'm sure if you do that, then you'll find that both of you, your needs will be met in the relationship. And if it is that you feel like you're not balancing yourself, or that you're not getting enough, as persons would often say, they're not getting what they want out of the relationship, or you're not listening to each other, then a third-party intervention is always important. But let me just tell you that everything has a manufacturer. And just like the church has a manufacturer, your partner has a manufacturer. His name is El Elohim Global, right? And it is God. And so that means that you do not understand and you cannot handle it to say. You do not take an audit to Toyota for service or vice versa, because you'll not get the optimum out of the vehicle. You have to take it back to the manufacturer. And I would say to you, take your partner and your relationship back to the manufacturer. Marriage as a manufacturer, and his name is God. So if it's not happening, take it back to him, and he will help you to sort it through.
Win. No, we'll win. Win. Oh my God. This is awesome. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Rev. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to chat with us, to chat with those online. Persons are saying you are a precious gem. Persons are saying woy. Like the different expressions here. Some persons are saying virtual hugs.
Thank you.
It's awesome. No, I think these persons are blessed as much as I am. I thoroughly enjoy this. Wash hands. I'm not even sure if I know what that means, but I guess they're saying I'm done.
This is awesome what you're doing. This is really awesome what you're doing, and I've been following you since you started doing the first one. It is really awesome because you get a space to share what you have been doing, and your challenges may help somebody else, and somebody else's sharing can also help you to pivot into the next level, because I believe that I'm pivoting into the next level of my career, the next level of my ministry. And can I just say that you're never too old. I'm over 50 and you're never too old. And I just say Naomi found purpose for her life in her later years. So it doesn't matter how chronologically old you are, because we are never really old. We're just chronologically challenged.
We can't manage. No, I appreciate the sentiments, and I do, and that is the purpose. That is really the passion. That is really what overtook me, because I am from the background. I'm a pastor's child. Before my parents died, they pastored a church, and so I know and I'm also a leader myself. So I know the kind of challenges that leaders face, and especially as churches, I could just relate to that. So out of the conversations I've had, the off-air conversations I've had with some leaders, and the different things that I'm learning, I'm saying, no, we need to create a forum for this to be shared, because the world can benefit from it. And I'm seeing where persons like yourself have commented and said, this is good. We're learning. I get an opportunity to share. I get to hear what other persons have shared, and I really feel like I feel like we'll win. Like, just even this conversation with you now, I'm just saying to myself, no, we'll win. We'll win. We'll win. Like, we just win. I just feel like a winner just having this conversation with you. It's awesome. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And I'm actually going to be live on Facebook tomorrow night again.
Nice.
In a different forum. Yes, I'm going to be talking about dealing with unfaithfulness after marriage. I'll be on live. I'm going to be sharing the link tomorrow. I will be with lust and fingers of the heart. And so, but first, to get your married friends on. People are struggling with all different kind of situations. God has equipped me, and I'm grateful to God. It is not I, but the Christ in me. I'm grateful to God. So I'll be on tomorrow night at 8:30, sharing a different platform live on Facebook on treating with unfaithfulness. How do you deal with unfaithfulness after?
Guys, follow Carla Dunbar Ministries on Facebook to see when she goes live. Follow her. Follow her. I give you 5 minutes. Don't go follow her. Just come back and comment done when you're done.
I like that. Come back and comment. God, yes. Go to Carla Dunbar Ministry and follow it now. Yes, to see all the happenings, because God is awesome and He's doing awesome and wonderful things. And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful for God, and I'm looking for persons to pour more of myself in. I want to leave a dynasty. I want to be able to recreate myself. In order, because I'm going out, but I'm looking for successors. I'm looking for people who believe in marriage, who believe in family, who want to rebuild our country, because it's not about infrastructures, it's about the families that makes it up. And the church is filled with families, and only as the churches are only as healthy as the families that are in the church. The communities are just as healthy as the families that are in the community, and the nation will only be as healthy as the families that makes it up.
Yes. Awesome. I'm gonna stop now before we reach 9:30. Charmaine Williams says, thanks for answering. God bless you, Charmaine. Guys,
Charmaine.
Thanks, Pastor. Thank you very much for coming on. I want to thank the rest of my team. I want to thank Dana Wallace. I want to thank Sabrina Bryce, Carlos Burke. I want to thank Nadia May. I want to especially thank my wife as well. All the support and all the help that we got in just putting together this simple live. Some as Reverend shared, as simple as it is, it takes persons to kind of just make it happen. And I really do. Yes.
I'd like to thank my team. Yes, my personal admin, Petal Marshall Des. My makeup artist, my daughter-in-law, Dunbar. Yes, I have Davia Williams and Karen Williams, who are also a part of getting my wardrobe together for tonight. Thank all of you. And of course, I cannot leave without thanking my husband. To be with you all here tonight.
I love it.
Yes.
That's nice. Thanks, guys. So I'm about to end this broadcast. Yes, the Bigging Up Dana Wallace International. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. We're way over time, and I really appreciate you guys for sticking around. Look out next week for another amazing episode. Good night, and God bless you.
God bless you too.